Well, hi, y'all. This is Krusty Kirk. I'm here to talk about refrigeration. And if you happen to have someone in your family that's a diabetic, as you know, insulin is life or death. So I've had, over the years, people's asked my wife, because, she's been in medical, and she's a type 1 diabetic, and they say, well, what do we do, if the refrigerator goes down and all that kind of stuff? Well, we don't know what to do. Well, here's the deal. If the refrigerator goes down or the power goes down, or we actually have an event where there's no power anymore, the Iceco is probably one of the best units I've seen. And what actually gave me, what made me think to make this video is, I know Eric at Goshen Prepping was talking about Iceco the other day, and he was recommending them, and I'm like, really, I can recommend them. They're a great unit, and I don't know what they are right now, so you'd have to go to the Iceco site, but this one was like $550, and you might say, well, man, that's insane. Well, yeah, it is, but when you're talking about, like, this is like the highest grade of insulin you can get now. This is like a name brand, and it works faster. And anyway, the point is, a 90-day supply of this without insurance is over $2,000, okay? So we're not even talking about end of times. We're talking about just if you don't have any power and all, you lose that, you're not going to get some more. You're not going to go to the insurance company and say, hey, I lost my insulin. Can I get some more? That'd be like, tough for you, man. You've already got your allotted. So let's talk about this Iceco. So first of all, I want to demonstrate. By the way, I have all these power units, and I've other got stuff and generators. Been just like I bought these based on recommendation of Rudy at Alaska Prepper, as well as Dave at Southern Prepper 1. They were talking about these units, and it's good, But I wanted to do this to show you that you can just take a little old punk battery. Basically, this is just a deep cycle battery. And this unit comes with regular cord to plug in AC, right? But it also comes with this particular cord. You see here, you can plug it in, and all it comes with all this, and then you just put it on there with the battery, and then you cut it on, and then you can even have it where it'll slow down and protect the battery. You see where it has high, medium, low as far as battery protection, and then I'm on minimum as far as my compressor, and then it's showing it's at 29, and then to set it, you would hold. You see what it's at? See, it's set at 29. I just went to 25, and I want to go 25. So anyway, go back 29. So anyway, it's at 29, and then what I do is, now I have some food in there now, and the reason I went ahead and cut it on, I normally do not run this, because I don't want to wear it out. I want to have it for when, I have to use it for insulin. And again, now, if you don't have any kind of a medical issue, and you just like to have cold iced tea, or you would die without a cold beer, this is still for you. Now, they make them where you can have like a different sections. In our case, we just wanted this, so this whole thing is going to cool down. The whole unit cools down at the same rate. So obviously, if we were doing insulin, we'd keep it a little bit below 40 or whatever you keep yours at. We keep ours around below 40 some, if 35. You don't want it freezing or the insulin's no good, but we keep it where this is not medical advice. You do what your doctor tells you, and you refrigerate it how you want, but ours seems to last longer. But anyway, the other day I had a chest freezer that broke. And you know what? I told my wife, I said, you know what? Stuff in the bottom takes so long to find what you need. And I said, and we're trying to wean away from having to have all this frozen stuff anyway. And my point is, we have an old refrigerator from 1973 that still works, believe it or not. That's on the porch, like any good redneck would have on their back porch has an extra refrigerator. And that old refrigerator's been there. It's still going, and we've had like 3 new ones. But anyway, we have one in the house, obviously. So, and we've got that. But I just wanted to have this so that we have something that's good to go for the insulin. And then obviously we can also use it. We can put ice cubes in it as well if we need it, because I have an ice maker, the little standalone ice makers. So since it's not going to be freezing, you could take you a bunch of, make your ice with your little standalone ice cube maker. And you could put the ice cubes in there, say at about 39. Obviously, they'll be more melty, but they won't stick together, so you could just reach in there and get you a daggum ice cubes out. Now, we're talking about if there's no power anymore. But anyway, so first of all, anybody can go get a deep cycle battery for like $100 now. And this thing is so efficient. I just wanted to see, because it's a little punk battery, you know. And I mean, look, it's so old. It's what is it? April 2022 is when I put this one online. So, you know, you can't even feel it or anything. It's sealed. So this is a little teeny battery, you know, but it's running this thing. And I've actually done the test when I first bought this. Once I got it to a certain temperature, I did a test with soft drinks, so it was easier. You know, I filled it all up with like Diet Mountain Dews, because that's what she drinks, being a diabetic. And then unplugged it, and I monitored it, how much it went down. So it'll go like I want to say it went like, it's been a while now, I'm old. I think it was like 18 to 24 hours without hardly any of significant drop, you know. And that's good. So you could even be, you know, if you had to charge something else, you was charging your solar battery, or if you only had one battery, you could charge that thing back up and then come back in. Now, because again, we're talking about, you know, in the world where when everything's gone, you have no power. We're talking about, you know, again, like this, especially this is for folks that are diabetic. You know, you want to be able to have that insulin cold. So anyway, what I do, and just to let you know what I do, if I was going is for insulin, I have like one of the good thermometers that I bought off of USA Blue Book, because, you know, like you put in water refrigerators to check when you have to do for stuff for the DHEC. So let me show you what I do. That's what I do. I got a good quality. See, it's lighted. It's lighted and everything. It's pretty nice. But anyway, see that little thermometer there? So what's it showing? It's about like, I think it's showing about 4. And it reads in Celsius. But anyway, what you're just looking for is to kind of make sure that, you know, because this varies. This will go up and down. You know, this might go to 27 and it might go to 29, but whatever you set it at, it's pretty close, right? So, but I just want to show you. So again, I looked on the internet, and, you know, my wife had even said, hey, I've tried to find something on the internet when I've had patients, because she worked for an endocrinologist for years, you know, and she was a type 1, you know, she's a type 1 diabetic for 24 years. And, you know, she did insulin pump training and all that kind of stuff. But her people asked her, well, what do I do? You know, and so she had asked me, she said, hey, YouTube man, is there anything on there? And I looked, and I really can't find anything where people are really in depth talking about, you know, what you're going to do to save your insulin. You know, people talking about, oh, well, yeah, dig a thing under the house and put it in a root cellar and all that. Well, let me tell you, pal, we're not doing that. This right here, spend the money and get it. And again, this is the biggest, and again, I'm telling you this now, putting it out, because with the tariffs, there's no telling what this thing's going to be when, you know, once it keeps going up. But like I said, when I bought it, it was like $550, and I guess I bought it about 3 years ago or something like that. And usually when you go on the Iceco site, they'll give you some kind of thing like, hey, give us your email and we'll give you $50 off or whatever. And you might get a smaller one. But I figure if I'm going to run the compressor, I might as well get one big enough where I can put the insulin in there, you know, and run some more stuff. So you see, like I said, I had my other freezer quit, and I put that in there. So, and it's lighted, and it's pretty nice. And there's some of the stats on it. Let me show you that right there. So look at that. So there again, I must not have had that, because this thing has been, when I use my regular one with mercury, I think it's not showing right, because it's, yeah, that thermometer's off. Anyway, I know this one on the side's right, because I actually had an old mercury thermometer I had checked it with when I put it online the other day, and it was dead on. So I guess I'm gonna have to, this might have seen better days on that. But anyway, let me give you this where you'll know the model number, in case you know. So let me give you there. Here you go. Item number VL45GSN. Refrigerator. Protective classification. Anyway, it tells all the stuff on it. And like I said, this thing is really just amazing. I mean, it's truly amazing what little power this thing uses. It's just unbelievable. But anyway, I just want to show you all that, and yeah, I'm gonna have to. Why would that thing have went bad on me like that? Anyway, but it's always been good. But anyway, you know, get you a good thermometer, maybe an old mercury thermometer, if they even make them anymore. Throw it in there and then check against it. And once you're pretty well, I mean, this thing's quality. So once you pretty well know that, hey, it's going to stay at what I want to. Oh, let me tell you one more thing I forgot. So say they've got that battery protection so that if you had, say this was your only battery you had and you were like, man, if it ruins my battery, because, you know, obviously these old lead acid batteries, you go down below 50%, you start ruining them, right? So you might not want to ruin your one whole battery you got, and that's all you got in the whole world. So what you would want to do is you can click over there and put your protection on high, and that way when the battery gets down to a certain level, it'll cut itself off so it doesn't ruin your battery. And then again, the max, you don't need it on max, but you can put max compressor if you had to get it cold pretty daggum quick, right? So like I said, I hope that helps somebody in the diabetic world, because nobody knows, you know, you just keep well, you know, and I know people are talking about you know, people talk about their own CPAP machines and this and that, but I'm talking about, you know, you can do all kind of alternative stuff, but we're talking about refrigeration for that insulin. You know, like I said, now they've, you know, there's different ones, but this particular one she's been using, this was some really high buck stuff because we had good insurance. But again, you know, we can use old standard insulin just as good, just doesn't work quite as well. And so since she's been doing it 24 years, she tries to get the best she can get. But again, go with no insurance, we can still go back to the other. But the point is, it's got to stay refrigerated. So again, I hope that helps. And we'll talk to y'all later. And it's Krusty Kirk out.